Hey guys, it's Logan again. Welcome back to another tutorial on creating an advanced platformer in GameMaker Studio 2. In this video, we'll be going over how to make our tile sets, and that's going to be a pretty basic tile set, and the next video I'll show you how to import it into GameMaker and set up the auto tile functions, and then we'll create our background tile set and add some more variations as we go. So this is an example of what we're going to be making. I actually have recorded this 3 times now. So I've made this one. I'm going to include all the ones I've made in a file, and you can pick which one you like best if you don't want to make your own, or you can spend time and make your own. I'm going to be going pretty quick, so this probably isn't going to be as refined as it could be. And this is another one that I made, so it's totally up to you on what you want to do. And then this is going to be our background set that we'll be creating in the next video. All right, so the first thing I want to do is, I'm going to be using Pixeledit for this. If you're using GameMaker, I'm going to include the Tileset template down below. What you'll do is go into GameMaker, import the image into your sprites, your template, you hit yes, edit image, set your brush size to 4, make sure your grid's 4x4, and then you're good to go. You're going to color in between these lines for each tile, and then when you're finished, you're going to do color remove tool, or H, and then you're going to select one of these gray squares and remove all of the gray, and you'll have a complete tile set. So hopefully you can follow along as well, and if you're using Pixeledit, hopefully that you can follow along and learn a couple things about Pixeledit. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is create a new file, and I'm going to use 6 images wide by 7 images tall, or 6 tiles wide by 7 tiles tall. Tile width, if we're in Pixeledit, we're just going to use 16 by 16 because when we save the image, we can export it 4 times its size, and it will scale pretty good for us. So I'm going to leave it at 16 by 16 and hit create, and then we're going to be greeted with this little screen. And if you want to not be able to paint outside of the tile you're working on, you can select this tile mask option, and this will only allow you to paint inside of that tile. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And the first thing we're going to do is create the top middle piece. The reason I do the middle piece first is because it's easy to round the edges of that middle piece. And when you do the middle piece, we can make sure that it tiles well. So since we're using Pixeledit, we have this neat feature where we can assign tiles to each of these blocks. And I'll show you what I mean. So if you select this little brick down here in your tiles panel, and we select these top 3 rows, I'm left clicking them, it's assigning the same tile image to all 3 of these. So now when we draw on one, it'll draw on all these, and this is how we can make sure that it's tiling well. So let's leave that like that for now. We can reset it later, and we will. But I hit A, or you click this, and then drag your left click across these 3 tiles. All right, and I'm going to hit D for my pencil tool. And the first thing we're going to do is find our midtone. So I'm going to use like a pinkish purple type color, maybe more of a pink, and let's use slightly desaturated, around 50. Maybe a bit brighter, maybe around there. I'll go. That looks a little bit too saturated though. Let's bring it down. And yeah, let's use that as a midtone. You can see my numbers here if you want to copy the exact values or do your own colors. I'm not super good with colors. It's probably the hardest part for me. So next I'm going to go down about halfway into our block. And I am going to just start making these V's. And this is kind of up to you on exactly how you want to do it, as long as it tiles well and you're happy with it. I'm not super talented at this part, so I use Control Z to back up when I don't like what I'm seeing, and I don't like how deep we go. I hit E for eraser, and I'm just erasing a couple, and I mean that looks okay. It's not awesome. Tile's okay. Now I'm going to hold Shift and box out the rest of this kind of outside edge, then hit F to fill, and then I'm just going to fill it. just to get the rest of our purple in there. And actually, that's a little bit long. I'm actually going to hit S to select, and I'm going to select a piece of this, hold down Control to move our section. I'm going to move it up 1 pixel, just so it doesn't come down quite as far. I'm actually going to do 1 more pixel. This is up to you. This might not be enough for you. You can bring it down more if you'd like. The next thing we're going to do is outline this. So I'm going to use black. You can try to use a really deep purple, but I found that black outlines with our character better. Or you can just do this bottom area black and then try to do like a deep purple up here, like the light's hitting it, so it's lighting it a little bit. Or you can try dark black up here and then like a deep purple on the inside, like we did with our player. So the insides of our player aren't outlined in black also. It's up to you. I'm just going to use black for all of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is outline this bottom section. I'm going to leave this big chunk of black here and see what it looks like. And I'm just going to go around, do it kind of like that. See how that looks later. I might go ahead and I right click to select a color. In Game Maker you have to hold Control. Okay, I'm going to Control Z out of that. And in Game Maker you hold Control and left click to select your color. And then I'm going to select my black again with right click, and I'm just going to do the top piece. And that looks okay. It's not bad. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add shadows. So I'm going to select my pink, and I'm going to make a much deeper value. I'm going to take about, I don't even know, 20 off of lightness, desaturate just a bit, and move our hue towards blue slightly. And I'm going to outline the bottom of this. Something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to put 1 pixel at the top here. So it's going to be like an indentation in the grass, and I'll show you what that's going to look like in a moment. And then I'm going to select a slightly lighter color, about 10 higher in the lightness value, and up our saturation slightly. And I'm going to fill in this area. Okay, not bad. And then I'm actually going to put those on the outside of these dark pieces, kind of to anti-alias them just a bit. As you'll see, I put a pixel here, which is off our tile. If you're in Game Maker, that pixel is actually going to be here. Because remember, these are changing in real time. So if I move over and click here, then it actually puts a pixel there as well. Okay. And now let's add one more. Let's go a little bit lighter. And then a little bit more saturated. I'm actually going to add something like just adding some more. Don't really like that. It's not quite light enough. Need to go lighter. Okay. I might actually just do something like this. It's totally up to you. But I'm just kind of breaking the, kind of softening the transition between dark and light colors, the contrast. So I'm kind of softening the contrast. And now I'm going to select our original midtone, and let's make a highlight. So I selected it with right click. I'm going to up the lightness quite a bit. I'm going to up the saturation a bit and move our hue towards yellow just a little bit, which is going to be up in this case. And now I'm just going to add a highlight 1 pixel underneath the top. Let's go a little bit lighter actually. Hold down space to pan and click. And let's up our lightness just a bit, up our saturation just a bit, and let's try that. Okay, and that tiles decently. It could be better. It could definitely be better. So the next thing I want to do is find our brown color. So it's going to be a deep, deep brown. I found that the deep brown kind of contrasts better with the rest of it. I don't know why. So I'm going to kind of find a brown and then get pretty deep. And then I'm going to outline this once again. That's not deep enough, actually. I'm going to outline this. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to fill. Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. That looks okay for now. You can actually go with black or a really deep brown. And if you want to experiment a little bit, I'll give you a little thing. You can select like a lighter brown, and then you can actually kind of create rock highlights in here, stuff like that you can kind of mess with. You might have to desaturate, maybe not that bright either, but you could try to create like rock highlights. You could maybe add a couple more highlights like in your grass or something like that. It's a lot of experimentation and seeing what looks good. So we're going to stick with this for now. I'm actually going to saturate that brown a little bit more. Go up and saturate in it. Saturation. I'm going to fill again. All right. Alrighty. So now we have all of these, and now let's hit A. You don't have to do this. If you're in GameMaker, just delete these two outer tiles and keep the inner one. But if you're in Pixel Edit, I hit A, I right click like one of these empty tiles, and now we can left click and delete those, unmap those once more. I'm going to hit S for select, and I'm going to copy paste this. I guess in GameMaker, you didn't have to delete those, sorry. And I'm copy and pasting this over here. Actually, before we do that, I'll show you one cool thing about Pixel Edit. Let's hit add to add a new tile over here, this little plus sign. Select that empty tile that we just added, and then click both, or just click this leftmost tile. Now we hit select and copy paste and put our tile in that. So I hit S for select, copy paste. And now let's go back to this tile, click it once more, and drag it over here, but don't click yet. Hit X. So I clicked the tile, drag it over, hit X, and it actually flips the original tile. The cool thing about this is anything we paint on this will be mirrored on the other side. So when we're making one edge, the other edge will automatically be created. All right, so I'm going to select my black. Actually, I'm going to erase these top 3 pixels right here. Select, I hit E for eraser. Select the black, and I'm just going to fill in these 2 and leave the top 3 unfilled and round our edge. If we round it too much, it'll look like our character is standing in midair at sometimes, so that's why I'm keeping it only these 3 pixels empty. And as you see, it changed it on the other side. If you're in GameMaker, worry about getting this one finished, copy, and then paste this to the other side, and then just flip that selection. Okay, and now I'm going to hit E for eraser, and I'm going to erase this outer edge, so it looks like our grass is kind of overlapping our dirt. And it did it on the other side automatically. And then I'm going to select, hit D for my pencil, select the black again, and bring it straight down so we're outlining it. Okay. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do is hit S for select, and I'm just going to drag select this little area. I'm going to hit Control C, Control V, and I'm going to drag it down to these empty tiles. And actually, I'm just going to stretch this piece down to our bottom base tile. And if the drag select isn't working in GameMaker, you can just keep pasting until you get it, or you can just make this outline yourself. So now we have a 3x3 set. I'm going to zoom in with mouse wheel, hold space to pan, and then I'm going to select the black, and then I'm going to drag it, hold shift, and make a line all the way across the bottom. I'm actually going to add one more dark shade to the inside right here. Hit E for my eraser, and I'm going to erase the 3 pixels once more to make the bottom piece rounded. And we're getting there. Now I'm going to create a highlight to give our dirt some depth. So I hit D for my pencil, select the dark brown with right click, hold Control and left click in GameMaker. And then I'm going to increase my lightness quite a bit, increase my saturation a bit, and then we're just going to, right inside of the black line, we're going to drag select, and I'm going to do it on both sides, or hold shift and draw both sides. And then we're going to select our mid-tone again, that dark brown, and we're going to make an even darker brown, so lightness about 6, saturation down just slightly. So I decreased lightness by, I think, like 8. And now we should have a dark edge along the bottom. And we're just going to do this. And then now we want a transition pixel to soften this edge right here. So I'm going to select the light color. Actually, yeah, I'm going to select the light color. I'm going to darken it by about 10 in our lightness. And then I'm just going to place maybe pixels like that to kind of soften that edge. Maybe just like that. That'll look okay. And we could even maybe add one more of these edges right here if you really wanted to get into it, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to select the dark brown and just erase this top left pixel so it transitions a bit better. Maybe even use that one brown we just made to transition it, kind of like that. That looks okay. You could add shadows and stuff under the grass if you wanted to give it a little bit more depth. But I'm just going to add that transition pixel and hopefully that'll be good enough. All right. So next, let's, we have our base tile set. Now we can make a couple variations we need. The first one will be select 8 pixels in, which in Pixel Edit we can see that little box that pops up. So I hit S for my select tool, selecting 8 pixels in. I'm going to select the full height and hit Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag it over to where our edges line up with the grid. I'm going to hit Control V again and paste it on top of this. Then I'm going to select this little box and I'm going to kind of flip it on the x-axis. And that gives us like a 1x1 tile that we can use. We can do the same thing with the horizontal blocks. So I'm going to select, we need to select all the grass features at least, and maybe the shadow or the start of the lighting. I'm going to hit Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag it down underneath our original tiles. Then I'm actually going to do the same with the bottom piece. I'm just going to drag and select a couple of these. Control Z, Control V. I didn't get enough. Just hit Control Z and make the selection a bit bigger. Control Z, Control V. I got too much that time. There's got to be an easier way. There is probably. Control Z, Control V. I'm going to drag it down. That looks good. All right, and now we have a 1x1 horizontal also. So now there's a couple more transitions we need to make. So I'm going to hit S and select our side tile. And I hit Control Z, Control V, and just set up a little scenario for you to see. 2 scenarios to be exact. And you can do this, set it up kind of like how I have it set up now. And I'm going to select a bottom piece, Control Z, Control V, and place it right here. Actually, I'm going to move this all over one. Oh, crap. You have to hold down Control to actually move the pixels. Dang it, I didn't get it all. So holding Control to move all the pixels. Okay. And then I'm selecting a top middle piece. Control C, Control V. And I'm lining it up right here. Okay. So first of all, for this top middle piece I just pasted, I'm going to paste another one. And you'll see why our transition needs to happen. So what if this was an inner edge? So we want it to transition pretty smoothly without having this overlap thing, because then it puts this piece like it's in the background, and we don't want that. So what we can do is hit D for our pencil, select our dark brown color, and I'm just going to erase all the way up until about right here of our grass. I'm just going to erase it. Then I'm going to select my black and kind of transition into this piece. And I'm going to kind of fix the colors inside here, put the shadows back. Something like that. And you'll see it kind of transitions nicely. So that'll be our inside corner right there. And I'm going to move this up to, oh crap. I'm going to move this like right here. And then I'm going to hit Control Z, Control V to paste right on top of it. Oh, did I not copy it? Control C, Control V. Yep, I copied it and pasted it right on top. And then I'm going to drag select. And that's going to be our other side, our reversed inner piece. Okay, I'm going to delete all these down here. So I drag select, I hit S to drag select, and now I hit delete to delete everything inside that box. Now I just click out of that. And now we need this top section. So we can just copy paste this top section right here. And then hit D for my pencil, select the black, and the black's actually good. Select the light brown, it needs to transition to this dark brown, and then select the mid-tone and just delete everything behind that light color. So you see it kind of transitions like a curve. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then that's it. I'm just gonna move this. Select, hold Control, drag. I'm gonna do Control C, Control V. Wait, I didn't copy it once again. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna drag it horizontally to flip the image, and then I'm just going to drag it above there. And then we can delete these tiles. Okay. And now I'm going to drag select the entire set. We actually need to leave room. So I drag clicked, I hit S for the selection tool, and I'm gonna drag down just 1 pixel. We need to leave the top left tile open in GameMaker, and if you're in GameMaker, you need to do the same thing. Leave the top left open so we could set it up as a tile set. And I'm actually going to, let's say, move these pieces, this 1x1 piece, up. So I'm holding Control, moving it up to these tiles. I hit A, I'm going to hit A, and then right click an empty unmapped section, and then left click over here to unmap that. I'm going to S for our selection tool, and I'm going to drag these tiles over. These tiles over. And I'm gonna kind of organize it with these tiles under here. Just select only that tile. And now we have room for more variations. And now you've created your first tile set for use in a platformer. So you can start making variations. Check out MortMorts' channel. I don't know if I mentioned him yet. I'm gonna link his channel down below. Go there, and this is what I base a lot of this style on, is kind of what he teaches, and he's a really good pixel artist, and he teaches, he does like tutorials and does live streams, and you could see him like developing his game and stuff like that. And yeah, he's a cool guy and really good to learn from. Go there and see how he does his stuff. He's way better than I am, but he kind of does things similar to this, but you might add like a swirly in here as long as it tiles well, and some other variations like that. You can add like a skull. You can add like copy paste this middle section, add like skulls or bones that you could have in the dirt. That might be one thing. You might have individual actual leaves here or grass strands. You can always go the route of going down like this and then hitting E and then having it kind of jaggedy at the top. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. We can add grass on top later that we'll probably do in some different types of plants. So this is all we're going to do for now. Next video, we're going to be importing it in the GameMaker and set up auto tiling system, and I'll be showing you how all that works. And then we'll be doing our background tile set that will look like this. And once again, I'll have all these graphics linked below. MortMorts' channel linked below. Check him out. The template for GameMaker linked below, and hopefully you guys could follow along well enough in that. I know I went kind of fast, but yeah, that's our first tile set, and I hope you guys can make better ones even than I do. I know this isn't great. My original one that's in the game took quite a while, and I'm going to have that downloadable too. And it's still not great, but it's just one technique of doing this. You could edit with these pixels and try to make it a little bit better. There's all kinds of stuff. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something. Oh, actually, before we end, sorry. If you're in Pixel Edit, let's go ahead and export. So we go to File, Export, Export Image. Don't export Tileset, just export image. And this will seamlessly go in the GameMaker. And let's name it Tileset Pink Grass. And see this pixel scale? This is what we need to set to 4. Okay. And this will scale our pixels up to fit in our game perfectly. So works really well. And now it'll save wherever you selected it to save on the path. I don't know why it's not open path. Okay. So you hit browse. That's how you select the path you want. Okay. So thank you guys for watching, and be looking out for the next video. And yeah, I can't wait to see you there. And once again, I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Share it. I want this stuff to get out to as many game makers as possible, people that use Game Maker. And hopefully we can make better games. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.